The headline itself is remarkable. The country's oldest national park ranger dies at 104 years old.
But Betty Reid Soskin was only a ranger for 20 of those years. She had lived a dynamic and varied life for more than 80 years before taking on that final role. She was a wife and a mother, an activist, a small business owner, a singer and songwriter, an active and beloved community member in California's Bay Area.
Soskin had no connection to Maine that we can find, but as Gia Vang found out when talking with her son, she lived a life that could inspire anyone.
Betty Reid Soskin bid the world farewell Sunday morning at her home in Richmond. She was 104.
She felt like she didn't have anything else to do.
And why would she? Reid Soskin lived a remarkable life. Born in Detroit, living for several years in New Orleans, and then moving to the Bay Area where she graduated from Oakland High School, her life was full of twists, turns, and surprises. Reid Soskin worked at the Richmond shipyards during World War II, and in recent years she was known for being a park ranger, hired at the tender age of 84 in the creation of Richmond's Rosie the Riveter World War II Homefront National Historical Park, until her retirement at 100 in 2022. The Rosie the Riveter Trust, which supports the park, said in a statement in part, "As a park ranger, Betty made history real because she lived it. She made history matter because she told the truth. And she made visitors care about all kinds of heroes who contributed to Allied victory during the war." But would you believe Reid Soskin thought she was done at 50? Her son says she even wrote a song as an obituary to herself.
She lived 54 more years. And she would have missed out on so much if she had decided to check out back then. You know, one of the things I've learned from my mother is that, you never know what's waiting around the corner because you can't see around the corner.
Reid Soskin also became a civil rights activist, and an El Sobrante Middle School is now named in her honor. She visited every year on her birthday and shared this piece of advice with the students there during what ended up being her final birthday visit in September.
I hope that they continue to ask questions and that they never settle for answers, because the answers always change.
I don't have another explanation for why she would wind up in so many situations where she had to stand up for herself. My mother made a life out of standing up for herself, I think.
But the Reid Soskin the public knew was also human, scared at times to showcase her art.
Little boy black, little boy black.
All the songs she'd written and sang in the 50s and 60s.
I think it took me a long time to really appreciate her music and how intimate and sophisticated it was.
All the while raising 4 children with her husband Mel before separating and marrying again.
And I've had a front seat to her iconization. And I know she's just as flawed and struggles just as much as all of us. And I think that there's something in all of us that is worthy of being looked at that way.
The gift her son hopes others will face with openness like his mother, to reinvent yourself as many times as you want and need.
That's Gia Vang reporting. A documentary, by the way, was made about Betty Reid Soskin and the musical life she lived for years before setting that aside.
And her songs were adapted into a musical that was staged in the Bay Area. Both the documentary and the musical are named for her song, "Sign My Name to Freedom."
We will leave you this half hour with a bit more of Betty Reid Soskin's music. Her son, Bob Reid, performs with Judy Iger under the name Iger and Reid. 3 years ago, Here and There Photography recorded them performing his mother's song, My Hill. This was at Old Sloop Presence in Rockport, Massachusetts. Stay with us.
Lovely world turns cold and leaves